What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So with The Last of Us 2 out of the way, it's now time to start talking about the Uncharted 4 single-player DLC. I should rather say the standalone story add-on to the Uncharted series. Of course, I had been talking about this already quite a bit leading up to PSX, but now that we've finally seen what it is, I'm pretty sure it surprised us all. It surely surprised me. Chloe and Nadine, who could have really guessed that? So in this video, I pretty much want to go over all the details and discuss, both the facts that we know so far about what this additional story chapter is going to be about, and at the same time some speculation, because a couple of things are definitely not quite clear yet. So I want to quickly start off just reading the description that's on the PlayStation blog that tells us a bit more about what the single player DLC will be. So what they said is that our video shows an early section of the game where we find Chloe in a war-torn city on her way to a rooftop rendezvous with her partner Nadine Ross. Much like Chloe, Nadine is a formidable and interesting character whose complex nature we just started exploring in our Uncharted 4 debut. She's a skilled tactician who's cool, calculating nature offers an important contrast to Chloe's improvisation and wit. As they venture deep into India's western Ghats mountain range, they'll need to work together to recover the long-lost tusk of Ganesh. When we began to plot out the story and our vision for the game, we realized we were building something more than just an extension of Uncharted 4, and instead a standalone story in the Uncharted universe. We wanted this adventure to feature all of the hallmarks of the series, from cinematic storytelling set within exotic destinations to dynamic combat and intricate puzzles. It's our biggest story expansion to date and will be available as a standalone game on store shelves and for digital downloads. So that means that, of course, if you don't own Uncharted 4, you can still play this, and it's probably gonna be, a shorter Uncharted campaign that's still standalone, so also for a smaller price, of course. We're talking probably around 20 bucks, I would say, at the moment. But yeah, I mean, they later confirmed two additional pretty interesting facts, which is that this takes place after Uncharted 4. Some people were speculating about that because Nadine looks a bit younger and stuff, but no, this takes place after, and it's probably just the way she has her hair now. It looks different, so she looks a little different here compared to what she looked like in Uncharted 4, and that's what's getting people confused, I guess. But it does take place after the events of Uncharted 4. I can't stress that one out enough. And the demo we saw was also the absolute beginning of the DLC, so this is like the first 10 minutes that we saw of what it's exactly going to be. Now, here's the thing, right? It's a little weird. Like, I was so expecting this to be, like they said, Uncharted 4 single-player DLC. I thought this was gonna be an adventure that in some way was still gonna be tied to the Uncharted 4 campaign, but instead they've went a completely different route. The only connection right now that we seem to be having to Uncharted 4 is Nadine Ross. A lot of people did, with the ending of Uncharted 4, did ask themselves the question, like, whatever happened to Nadine? We want to know that, and I guess that this is kind of going to answer that. Who knows? Maybe she's gonna meet a final fate here or something, or there's gonna be a definitive ending now to her storyline as well, and maybe Chloe, of course, too. But maybe they could pretty much answer those questions. But apart from that, like, this really is not in any way connected to the adventure of Uncharted 4, it seems right now. It makes me wonder, like, are characters like Drake and Sully going to be in this DLC? Maybe just in the ending or something like that. Maybe not at all. Maybe they're gonna be a part of the game. Who knows? I guess Drake is done. I feel like they've left that story behind, and they are like, everything we've touched now, everything that we've left behind with, and no pun intended there, everything we've left behind with Uncharted 4, we are not going to touch that pretty much anymore. Drake is done, but who knows? We could see, people like Sam and Sully still return, I guess, but if we're gonna see that, I have no idea. We're just gonna have to wait and see. That's a big part of the speculation. It did make me wonder a bit, like, once again, I was really expecting this to be connected to Uncharted 4, to be an additional piece of content that would actually answer some more questions maybe, or give us some cool little insights on certain parts of Uncharted 4, but it doesn't really seem to do that at all. It really is, because they're selling it also as a standalone DLC. Hell, they're calling it literally a standalone game. When Naughty Dog announced this on Twitter, they said, we have a new Uncharted game. That's how they worded it. It's pretty crazy, but it made me kind of wonder, and maybe this comes across a little stupid, but it made me wonder, like, is this really necessary then? Like, I really thought that it was gonna add something, and now that it doesn't, it's like, well, you've just finished the Uncharted series. if this is the final piece of content we're gonna get from Uncharted and it's something completely different, that's smaller, that's just gonna be cool, of course, it's gonna be great, but that's all it is that really the way we want to leave the series behind? So that's like the small remark that I had with this reveal, that I was not sure if this is really something I necessarily wanted. I was like, if this was gonna be Henry Avery's backstory, if this was gonna be more of Sam's backstory, or something that's at least connected to Uncharted 4, that could offer some additional closure, that could have been a cool thing. This is still gonna be great, but it's not necessarily gonna feel like, oh, all of a sudden, you know, oh, yeah, all of a sudden this is gonna be done, and we're like, okay, well, that was it for Uncharted then. It's just gonna be a small adventure that's different, and that's it, if you know what I mean. But that's also another additional question I have right now. Is this really the end of Uncharted? Because now they're tackling it in a complete different situation. Josh Schur in an interview literally said, we are treating this as, or we found out pretty much afterwards, that we can tell all of these cool little small stories in the Uncharted universe. And it made me think, like, are they gonna keep doing this? Is Uncharted maybe not even done at all? Is this gonna be an additional story chapter that's gonna be 3 or 4 hours of length? And then they're gonna move on to different projects like The Last of Us 2, of course, and maybe like a new IP they're gonna do. But who knows, we could still be returning to the Uncharted universe with different characters, a focus on them for once, with smaller types of, you know, content that doesn't take them too long to make. That's like, once again, a 3 to 4 hour expansion that takes them a year to make or something like that. Who knows, maybe this is not the end of Uncharted after all, and that's a little bit of a crazy thought that I had not, you know, that I did not think of at all. I was really sure that this was gonna be the end of Uncharted, and it turns out it might not be that after all, but we're gonna have to wait and see, and I definitely want to know from you in the comments how you feel about this. Do you feel this is still going to be the end of the series? And if it is, do you agree with me that it's still, in a way, then a little weird that this is the way they're ending it? At the same time, once again, I'm sure it's gonna be great. The setting looks awesome of India, of course, and the fact that we're returning as Chloe is great, you know, a character that we always wanted to see more of. I am pretty sure that the release date is not gonna be Q1 of 2017, because, you know, it's December already. They would have announced a release date if it was coming out soon. It turns out they needed a little bit longer than that. They've said it's their biggest expansion yet, so I'm sure, you know, it's going to be quite a bit bigger than Last of Us Left Behind was, and that's cool, that's great. That means it's going to be a meaty, you know, addition to the Uncharted series, and once again, you know, trust in Naughty Dog, they're going to do a great job. This is going to be an awesome story that's really, hopefully, you know, still going to provide a cool little extra alternate story to the series that we didn't in any way knew that we were gonna get, of course, so, or know that we were gonna get. So that's really, really nice to see. But yeah, I would personally predict a summer 2017 release date right now. So that means around May, June, July, pretty much like a year after Uncharted 4 has come out. So with that being said, that's everything we can pretty much talk about right now in terms of the Uncharted 4 single player story DLC. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Are you excited for it? Are you looking forward to it? What do you think of the setting and stuff, and how do you think, you know, how do you feel about this maybe being the last thing we'll see about Uncharted? Are you fine with that? And then yeah, let me know that in the comments, and for now, leave a quick like if you enjoyed the video, helps my channel out a lot, and then I hope to see you again next time.